Okay, hi everybody. How is everybody doing? I I hope this time it's okay. We've been having some technical issues for a couple of minutes. Hi everybody. How is everybody doing? I I cannot believe it. Is it okay now? I think so, yeah. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But we can't see you.
I can't see you yet. Hey, everybody, we've been having some technical issues right now, but I hope that we've got it. We'll master it pretty soon. So, that everything is all right. Anyway, we are here. It's another week. It's probably the third time that we go live in YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And let's try to find out what's going on with everybody. So, Jimmy, what's going on with you? You've got good news?
The good news is that we're all alive and kicking.
Yes, that's for sure.
Our discussion last week, we were talking about how I just wanted to reiterate some of the things that we were talking about last week, where self-management is important, and the more rare something is, the more delicately it needs to be managed. And we are very rare. Transgender people, I think we mentioned it last week, represent a fraction of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So we need the better we manage ourselves, the less inclination others are going to want to try to manage us. So if we manage ourselves in such a way that we live in harmony with all things, that'll eliminate the need for outside intervention. And we were having some technical glitches earlier, and I'm still trying to get my straightened out, but back to Ella.
Yeah, at least we don't have the terrible echo coming up. It seemed to have resolved that issue. Well, there's still an echo, but it's not as bad. Bobby, how's life going with you?
Yeah. Well, I really appreciated what Jimmy had to say. And it reminded me how I've been rediscovering how important self-care is in all of this. This morning I had an appointment with my massage therapist, just this wonderful lesbian woman, and we just get along so great. And that is just something I would not have done for myself several years ago. And is it all right with the echo and everything? Okay, but the way a massage therapist works, they really try to stroke your body and all your muscles and work out the knots and the joints and all of this. And it's really kind of amazing how knotted up your muscles become, and kind of lactic acid and toxins and things like that build up in your muscles. And like the third time I went, we were getting through it, and, she just, it's sort of like expressing stuff from your muscles and everything. And there was a big knot on my shoulder. And she said, you ought to go to the doctor and get that looked at. Well, what it was just the lymph nodes were collecting all of this stuff that was being, and anyhow, it just was a very temporary thing. It was just gone in a few hours, but and then how much you got to urinate when it's all over. And it's like, holy smoke, there's really some garbage in there that needed to come out. And I just have kind of discovered what, therapeutic massage is all about when it comes to like improving your posture and your everything else. And And that's been a big change for me to start doing things like Epsom salt baths and massage therapy and things like that that really fall in the level of self-care. And I'm not really sure what kind of lies I told myself for so many years, like why I don't deserve that. But it's like kind of worked through all that and got it going now. But I would just encourage people to look into things like that, to pamper yourself just a little bit, because it's really made a big difference. I think we acquire a lot of bad habits by working at a computer and staying hunched over a keyboard and things like that. And with the routine, and I was spent the last weekend in New Orleans for 4 or 5 days, and a whole lot of walking and everything. And I was just, I could tell that it had really been helping me, because my little Apple Watch was saying, "Oh, you set a new record today for steps," and all of these kind of things. And so it's like I'm moving better, and walking better, and feeling better, and all of those things. And it just I'm really glad this woman persuaded me to become a regular and try it out. And so anyhow, that's just really helping a lot. And it also just amazes me how there's so much fear and stuff we all have to push through to really come alive and start living life as we were created to be. And this is just one more example of how good life is supposed to be. and why not pamper yourself? I don't know what I had going on in my head to make me think that's not something I deserve, but I'll never think that way again, because it's been really helpful for me.
It is very important. I'm sorry, Jimmy, I muted you, but I think it was coming from the echo. What have I been doing? I've been very busy, as a matter of fact. I had an exhibition this weekend with one of my companies, and I had a birthday party, a very nice birthday party. Some of the people I knew, some of the people I didn't know, and it was a really great experience, I have to say. Walk to walk, talk to talk, and that is something that I try to do, and it comes back. It really comes back in a positive way. I'm glad, and I'm not talking about people which I don't know, but it's really fantastic sometimes the feedback you get from people. It really is. When you are true to yourself, and this is what's been happening to me, and you stand strong, people respect you. And this is so beautiful. We are what we are. Did we choose to be like that? No.
Right.
We didn't. We fought for what we wanted to be, and for what we know is right for us. And that is our merit. And whatever happens outside, okay, can happen. But never anybody can take your merit out, what you earned, what you achieved, yourself, your person. Love that you give, because that's the way you are, and that's the way you feel you are. Nobody can take that away. It's you. So I am very glad, I had a really quite actually, working hard, but very nice time. And okay, my person, I try to walk the walk and talk the talk and try to be myself in my environment, and people accept me in my environment. And you know, nobody really cares about if I am transgender or not, which is a nice thing. Of course, if someone asks, I'm certainly not hiding it. Anyway, I'm a writer. I wrote 3 books, and the 3 books are about transgender people. So I cannot ever deny that I'm transgender. But you know what? Not have to rub on the people's faces all the time. I can live just the way I want. And you know, yes, I probably pass a little bit better than better, but that's not an issue. I don't think that passing is the biggest issue. It is certainly an issue for many people, mainly for themselves.
Mhm.
But you know, it's the way you stand. It's the way you communicate with other people. It's the way your head is up. That's what matters. Some people pass very, very well, but they don't have the, you know, being for being accepted. So they are always very nervous. Probably they don't have the courage, or it's not there yet. Let's put it this way, because it takes a while until you got the courage. And they don't pass. Or they're not accepted. I think that's a better wording. They're not accepted. I don't know what you think about that, Bobby.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you would mention that because one of the things that very terrified me when I first came out, I was going to the movies with my friends, and you know, it was a long movie, and we're drinking sodas and eating popcorn and everything. And when it's over, I had to run to the bathroom. And you know, when you're a guy, you just run to the bathroom, do your business. When you run to the women's room in a movie theater, there's going to be 20 people standing in line in front of me. That terrified me the first time it happened. It was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And I was so awkward and uncomfortable. And I just kind of turned around and, oh, maybe I can hold it till I get home. Well, anyhow, that was years ago. And I mentioned that because I was traveling a lot last weekend and changing planes in Atlanta and in New Orleans, and there were long lines in the bathroom, of course, all over. And it's like, I don't think a thing about it right now. You know, I just get in line, hold my head up, like you're saying. You know, I'm confident. It's like, of course, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'll just stand in line and wait with everybody else. And that was just, you know, I was remembering how scared I was the first time that happened. And now I just, you know, I'm like everybody else in line. It's like, you know, hurry up, hurry up. You know, and thank goodness that that judge did an injunction against all that hateful stuff in Florida, because I was thinking, if I had had to change planes in Orlando and go to the bathroom, nothing would have changed. I would have been exactly the same, gone right in, and nobody would have said anything. And I talked to people in line too, you know, about where they're traveling and stuff like that. And so I'm real comfortable with myself. I'm real confident, and it's hard to believe how scared I used to be to stand in the long line of women in the bathroom. And now it's like, oh yeah, that's the way it is. So.
Well, I have to say, I do it quite a lot of times, and it doesn't make any chance. By the way, the law in Florida is, for the bathroom law, is from the 1st of July. So that is the new thing. We hope that in the meantime it will be taken out of the way, like the healthcare, but it's not always easy.
Yeah, but if I did change in planes in Orlando, I wouldn't have done anything differently. You know, if you act shy or stuff like that, that really is the sort of thing that draws attention to yourself. And when you act like, of course I'm supposed to be here, and you know, that's the vibe you send off. Anyhow, I'll pee anywhere. Let me just put it that way.
Jimmy, would you like to tell us something? You are muted, so you have to unmute, okay? You are muted. Now we can hear you. No, we cannot.
Now we can.
There you are.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
So all the things that y'all are talking about, level of self-comfort and confidence, this is all the result of self-ownership and self-actualization. Ownership of self, self-actualization, self-mastery is a journey. It's a journey. And I think that the journey has no end, because when we think we achieve, we've arrived. And then as we move forward in life, we find out that as we evolve, we experience greater dimensions of life. So all the things that we seek are on the other side of fear. Our future self exists outside of our current comfort zone. So what Bobby's talking about and Ella, all these things, when we started this journey, were outside of our current comfort zone. So we had to grow to meet our future self.
Yeah.
So it's that journey of getting comfortable with uncomfortable, because everything that we seek is on the other side of fear. And I think it was Ella was talking about passing. And I think for the younger folks, maybe the concept of passing and being accepted by others is a part of that journey of self-mastery. Because when you reach a point in life where you don't really care what other people think, it doesn't matter. So in my life, I'm a very visible a transgender girl. And that's just kind of the way it is. And so I've accepted this in my life. And like Ella was saying, stand tall, posture, or maybe it was Bobby. These are all important that are a result of innate confidence. And confidence is something that is built over time by the more we live outside of our comfort zone, the greater our comfort zone becomes, the more comfortable or confident we become in the outcome of unknown future events. And another thing too that's important that we realize, that when a transgender decides to blossom from a caterpillar to a butterfly, we go from a known to an unknown. And a lot of times it's the human nature to fear the unknown. But if we can replace fear with faith and anxiety with anticipation, these are all mindsets that'll keep us going in the right direction with conviction and trusting the guidance we're getting from our future self, and trust our inner compass. All these things, going to a bathroom and an airport and all that, these are all the result of you got to do it once. You got to go. Aristotle learned how to play the flute by playing the flute. You got to initiate action.
Yeah.
And, you may feel awkward, but you know, and anybody who's done anything, any ballerina, a professional ballerina, didn't start off being graceful. You know, I'm sure they fell on their feet many times. So you just got to keep moving forward, and eventually you'll make it to the promised land. Ella,
practice makes perfect. It's what we always do. I mean, I have to tell you, the first times that many years ago, first times I went to the girls' bathroom, yeah, I didn't feel, so comfortable in the beginning. And with the time, I mean, I wouldn't even dare to go to the men's bathroom anymore because, okay, things have changed. Pretty incredibly. But you know, it is practice makes perfect. Do we have to be perfect in everything? No, we don't. Nobody's perfect. But you know, we have to have that control of ourselves to do what we expect ourselves to do. It's not what the other people expect you to do. It's what you expect yourself to do. Because I think it is much more important. Unfortunately, we live in a world right now where everybody thinks that they should tell you what to do, mainly politicians, you know. And this is wrong. This is so really wrong, you know.
Yeah.
Why should they? You know, everybody's got their own life. Not everybody has to live to the same model.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know what you're talking about, what Jimmy, you're talking about, pushing through the fear and all of those things and dealing with our own internal stuff, that is hard work. And most people are unwilling to do that. It is so much easier to find a demographic to cast as inferior, to make you feel better about yourself. And as long as you have this group to look down on, and it's just for decades, it was race, it was women who wanted abortions, it was people with AIDS, just on and on and on. There's always been a group politically to look down on and vote for me because I hate the same people you do, that kind of stuff. And what we're talking about is doing the really hard work of self-actualization and pushing the limits of fear and everything outside the comfort zone. And most people aren't willing to do that. And so, yeah, you're right. People are just full of opinions, and it's really none of their business. I'm just trying to live my best life, and they ought to do the same thing, anyhow, it's just what Jimmy's talking about, what both of you are talking about, is really we have discovered the gift of doing that hard work and looking into those dark places and pushing ourselves. I like to say that transition is a grand adventure in trial and error learning. And it just helps if you're a quick study. It's like, and I'm really analytical about the feedback and the reactions I get. It helps me do better. And so, not that I ever wore fishnet stockings and stilettos to go grocery shopping, but that would be something where it's like, that's like trial and error learning. It's like, what were you thinking? Don't do that anymore. It's like you want to try to blend in. And so, that's, if I'm going to the grocery store, I study the people there and how do I need to look to blend in? And that's a little bit of trial and error learning. If that's your goal, to just get in and out and not attract a whole lot of attention, then you have to learn how to blend in. And so that's why I just say it's just trial and error learning and being kind to yourself, and that's the way you get stronger. I was thinking once I was talking to a group of high school kids, and one of them asked me, when it comes to your transition, what's the hardest thing you've ever done? And it was funny. In just an instant, my mind flashed back to the day when I was still in boy mode and I decided to go to the mall and get my ears pierced. I was going to go to the mall and I was going to talk some teenage girl into piercing my ears. And the day I did that, that was the hardest thing I'd ever done towards transition. And that's when I realized every step you take is the hardest thing you've ever done at that time. But no kidding, when they asked me that, that was the first thing that popped into my mind, get my ears pierced in that mall. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. It
You
was
know
a
what? I've got the same experience. Absolutely the same experience. It was
Yeah.
it was really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, life is always you know, it always comes with small things that you have to
Yeah.
go over. And I always say, you know, I always follow fears, and I think that's a very good thing. Many people should do that, follow their fears, because that's where you learn. That's where things go, you know. So, Jimmy, would you like to add something on that?
Sure. Everything that we seek is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
And one of the tools that we can use to overcome these fears is discipline. And I was just talking to someone in the gym earlier today that discipline is the main ingredient. Discipline will set us free. And discipline is the willingness to do what's right when it's time to do something right and do it right. And whether we want to or not. And discipline provides the horsepower necessary to achieve goals in our life. And I think what the, like in my life, I think Bobby said it really well. It's like a exercise in trial and error. You know, we're going from a known to an unknown, and then you're gonna create your. I know I created my physical image in the image in the spirit of my soul. So my body is my spirit in human form, and all I had to do was just trust that process, and nothing was really difficult. It's not a difficult path. You just have to decide that this is what we're going to do and have a vision for ourselves. And then the universe will work behind the scenes to kind of make all this happen. And I think that that is probably one of the most important things that I could share with people is just have a vision for yourself.
Yep.
And allow a lot of wiggle room, because how we think things are going to unfold and how they're actually going to unfold could be two totally separate things.
Yep.
And then result in two totally different outcomes. What we think we want for ourselves may not be exactly what the universe has in store for us. So, you know, have that vision, allow some wiggle room, and then just put one foot in front of the other, and the universe will work behind the scenes to create circumstances for our vision to become a reality. Ella.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked many times in this show about the power of visualizing, the power of meditation, the power of dreaming. It's so important that, and I think that that's exactly what you're saying, that we have to dream. We have to see where we want to go and how we want to go. That is so important in one's life, you know. Sometimes things go better or go worse, not according to your plans, but you know, let it come the way it comes, but dream, go forward for it. You know, we live in a world of atoms, and we can actually, I think that we can actually generate or modify the atoms to go into your life. And I don't know how long we can do that, but there's some kind of meditation we can do that somehow. If we bring this, let's say, this movement of beauty and this movement to our own bodies, then, you know, it will help us to achieve what we want to achieve, you know. I mean, you always have to start somewhere, and it always starts here on your head. And then afterwards it goes, you know, everything goes into the right place.
What you just said is it touches on the divine secret of the universe where everything is vibrating. So your chair, our body, this car I'm sitting in is all made, we think it's made of steel, but this steel is made of atoms, which are all vibrating and dancing with one another in such a way that it makes the hood of the car. You know, all the cells, all the atoms in my body, your body, everyone's body are dancing with other atoms in that body to create the person. So these vibrations are affected by frequencies. Our brain waves are a frequency. So by using thought alone, we can create and manifest events in our life. And the concept is simple, but humans, we have a tendency to kind of complicate things. So that's the power of intention, the power of visualization, the power of thought, the power of dream are all mechanisms that we can use to create a frequency to influence the vibrational direction of atoms and groups of atoms that make up objects. And this is beyond powerful.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah.
I think this is the whole key to life right there.
Yeah.
And let me just,
You know, that is so true. I was trying to break it down into a smaller step, what you're saying. And you reminded me of something by the great philosopher, Oprah Winfrey. It was something she said once. It was like, if you focus on what you don't have, you will never have enough. But if you're grateful for what you do have, you will always have more. And it was that simple thing of gratitude for what you have, instead of focusing on what you don't have. And I can't believe just a simple, powerful idea that was for me. You know, it was funny. After I had a divorce, I lost a 35-year marriage, and you know, I was out drinking with one of my best trans women friend, and we were in a bar, and you know, she had been divorced forever, and she just says, you know, when you get down to it, who's going to have us? You know, who would really want us? Who's going to take us home to meet their family? And you know, and it was like, oh my gosh, I will probably never have the type of companionship and intimacy I had as a married person. I might not have that anymore, but I'm taking charge of my life. I've got the best friends I've ever had. I had to change my definition of companionship. And when I looked at, I've got these, I have, for the first time in my life, I have truly best friends because I'm not keeping any secrets anymore. And I don't have to keep everybody at arm's length anymore. And that was just so wonderful. And so all I had to do was change my definition of companionship, for it's probably not going to be like this anymore. But man, I've never had this before. And I just decided to get happy. I'm living life on my terms. I've got the best friends I ever had, and I'm happy. And actually, that intimate physical relationship stuff I had with my ex, that was really awful. It was kind of abusive now that I think about it. But you know, and it was funny. I just decided to be happy. I just decided to be grateful for my lot in life. And oh my God, that was like the key that opened everything, because all of a sudden it's like love comes out of nowhere and blindsides me. And I met my second wife, and oh my gosh, she made me forget in an instant my ex. It was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I met you. Changed everything. But it was funny. It's like, once I decided to get happy, once I changed my definition of companionship, once I decided I'm happy with my lot in life, I'm grateful for where I am. It was like everything just came rushing in, and so that led to my second marriage, and and um, um, but after 8 years, I lost her to just really devastating thing with breast cancer, and that was gruesome, and it really tore me up, and that was 18 months ago. And that was just really kind of the darkest period of my life because I had never been loved so well. And I just, it was like, gosh, I had it. Now it's gone and it's never coming back. But lo and behold, I said I was in New Orleans all last week, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have never fallen in love so fast, so hard. It's like, oh my gosh, this perfect companion now. And so it's like, the gratitude works well for me is all I'm trying to say. That just that kind of vibe, instead of focusing on what you don't have, being happy for what you do have, and it just seems like you have more. So that's just a simple lesson I've learned as far as energies and attracting stuff.
Sure.
Ella, I got to go. I got like 60 seconds and then I got to go. I got to get my dog out of the dog daycare by 7.
Oh, that's right.
So here, just briefly, those who think they can and those who think they can't are both right.
Yeah, that's what Henry Ford said that. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
The degree in which we believe that is proportional to the degree that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I love you guys. Good job.
Sure. Oh, just
Well, we're gonna finish it because I think you have to go and I have to go too.
yeah. But thank you. I just, I enjoy you all so much, and I have learned a lot. Just, you and Jimmy are into light and radiating, and when I first joined this group, I was up to my eyeballs with these hateful legislators that are trying to hurt my school kids, or trying to hurt this healthcare community I've worked so hard to build. And so I came into the group with a lot of anger, and you're helping me a lot learning that, that's not going to win any battles. You have to radiate some happiness and contentment and confidence in who you are. So I want to thank you for that.
I have to tell you that what has been happening lately, it's probably not going to be a quick thing, but I'm more and more sure that this hatred is going to come to an end soon. And
Yeah,
I think,
it will.
I'm very positive about it, because I see that so many of these laws have been now been stopped and not going through.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that things will get a little bit more normal. I think, now that the GOP has got such a lot of discussions between themselves to find the possible candidate, they will have other things to think than transgender people,
Well, and I know you're trying to wrap it up, but just real quickly, one of the things that I discovered is, and it's going to be their downfall, the GOP. The don't say gay part of this bill was really changing everything about what and how teachers talk about anything related to sexuality. And in our state, they packaged it so that, you can only talk about cisgender, heterosexual, monogamy. Everything has to be virgin on your wedding night, that kind of stuff. And there's no discussion at all in grades K through 4. You might be able to talk about some puberty stuff in the 5th grade, but anyhow, and it terrifies teachers because one parent can accuse you of something and your license is in turmoil for years while they do the investigation and all of that stuff. So anyhow, what I'm leading to is because of the way they packaged that in our state, if you're going to talk about anything the least bit sexual, you have to give parents 2 weeks notice in writing with the lesson plan that you will be teaching on that day, and they can consent whether or not to let their child come to school or not. Well, see, in kindergarten in our state, because child sexual abuse was so bad, we start talking in kindergarten about appropriate, inappropriate touches and who's allowed to touch what part of your body, and your right to say no and things like that. Well, see, you can't talk about that at all anymore. They eliminated all of that stuff. And so what I've done now, and what I've been working on, I've turned it into the, I had a state senator and an attorney general I was talking to, that it's like their eyes were open. It was like, oh my gosh, everybody that's sexually abusing their children is now getting 2 weeks notice. Don't send them to school on that day, because everything we're doing is try to expose child abuse. And so the GOP has actually turned my state into a haven for child sex trafficking. And man, I am going to blow the lid off of them for doing that. And so anyhow, all of that's in the works. So I just say, pay attention to what's going on in Kentucky, because they're going to be sorry they picked a fight with me.
Yeah, I think that that is a very interesting thing, because it is. The question is how long it will come really to the first line, and people start to see what kind of stupidity they've gone through.
Well, I'll bet you anything the same thing is going on in Florida, because the public schools are the first line of defense in detecting child sexual abuse, and they've obliterated that, and so. Now it's time to talk about, they're the ones that are promoting trafficking and child abuse, and they're not into protecting children at all. They've exploited them more than ever. And so we're going to turn the tables on them there. And so anyhow, it just, I just wanted to mention that, because the hate that they're putting out, actually, I saw it, and it had the seeds of their own destruction in it. And I just was fortunate to talk to 3 or 4 women who were survivors of sex trafficking. And, I would say, God, if you'd been in my 3rd grade classroom, if you'd been in my 4th grade classroom, what could I have seen to stop that? And, and I talked to them a lot about that. And that's when I realized that these Don't Say Gay laws had totally shut down anything like that. And so there's no way to detect this stuff, because parents aren't going to send their kids to school on the day that those lessons are being taught. So anyhow, I just wanted to throw that out, because I'll bet you anything that Florida has done the same thing with the way they do.
Same thing here too. Well, we'll see what happens, but I think that I think that the way they wrote the bills, it's the way that everything was going to go dead, because I mean for example, the anti-drug show bill here in Florida doesn't say drug shows, just say adult. What's the definition of that? It's crazy. It just says adult shows.
Right.
So what is the definition of adult shows?
Yeah. Oh, and just real quickly, ABC News last night it was like their June Pride special. It was all about transgender children and their parents, and they were just beautiful, fabulous kids. They had Elliot Page was one of their people, and going back to his childhood and his parents, and they were talking about it and all of this stuff, and it was just so affirming and great and wonderful, and he did a great job of educating people that 6 out of 1,000 kids really need this kind of health care. Let the parents take care of their kids and get your nose out of it. And it was really, really, it was a beautiful special, and it should be on YouTube by now. So I wanted to tell the ABC Pride special from last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. In that case, I don't know. Do you want anything else to say?
No, I'll let you get going. So
I'm having the sun coming.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. You've got this shadow across you.
I cannot even see anything. Anyway, It was great to have you tonight.
Yay.
Please look at us in Facebook. We've got quite a lot of posts too. And look at us as Transgender and Friends in Facebook, which is a group, not a page. And I wish you a very nice evening, and bye-bye, everybody.
All
And
right.
thanks for watching.
Where
Thank
we,
you.
there we go. See you.
Bye.